We all suck at something. Think about it. When you're starting off something new, a new job, go out for a new sport you never played before, maybe you start a new instrument you never played before, just anything you've never tried before, you're not gonna be that good. When I was in 8th grade, we took this reading test. Now I knew that I was not the best reader. But I was like, okay, I'm in 8th grade, so I probably read at like 6th grade reading level. I thought maybe fifth, but I was like, for sure, I read at a 6th grade reading level. Well, we get the results of the reading test back, and it says that I read at a 4th grade reading level. I was pissed, man. I could not believe it. I'm like 3 months away from finishing 8th grade and going into high school, and I can't even read at a middle school level. Now, I've never really liked reading that much when I was growing up. My parents always made me read before bed for like 10, 20 minutes. If I didn't do it, they'd always threaten me that I'd have to read to them, like you do in 1st grade in kindergarten. So as a middle schooler, it's like, well, I don't want to read to my parents like a baby. So I just like would read like for 10 minutes a day, maybe 20. And sometimes I wouldn't read for a couple weeks because I didn't want to. And then my parents found out. And then I had to read again. So I was never all in on reading until I got the test results back. I was so mad. I was like, I gotta change this. I have got to get better at this. This is ridiculous. So I actually started reading by myself voluntarily, just because it was like that was the way I could get better. And probably the best thing that ever happened to me was I read books, but I also listened to audiobooks as well. So the audiobooks helped me a lot because I always learned better by listening in class or somebody reading it to me, and then I would answer the questions or they would ask me questions about what they just read. So I learned better by listening than actually reading in a book. But I still read actual books too, so doing both of those really helped me develop better reading skills. And I don't know what reading level I moved up to, but I do know that I did not read at a 4th grade reading level anymore because I could read books that my friends and my siblings could read for the most part when I got later on in high school. But I had to be the one to want to get better at reading. And I didn't have any confidence in myself that I was any good at reading. When we'd read, like in English class, when we would read out loud, I was always super terrified to read out loud. Because I would read and then get stuck on a word, and like I knew the word but I couldn't get it out of my head, and I would need help, or I would just like mumble it over the word or skip it and just keep going, when then the teacher would stop me and I'd have to try to get it right. So I was always really terrified of reading in class out loud. But this one day, when I was a junior in high school, we had to read out loud to the class, take turns, and I was up, and it was the one time I actually felt confident enough in myself to read out loud, because from that spring in 8th grade to my junior year in high school, I actually read more, listened to more books on tape, and got better. And I still struggled every now and then. I maybe wouldn't know a word or couldn't get the word out, and luckily my brother was in the class, so he would always help me. But then I'd keep going. And I did like the best I ever did at reading out loud. And it was because I decided to have confidence in myself and to work on my reading. And that's the thing, is like when you start out at something, or if you're not very good at something, you're gonna suck right away. But it's up to you to want to get better. You don't have to get better if you don't want to, but you have the choice to, if you really don't want to suck at that new job or that new sport or the new instrument you're trying out. You know, it's up to you to hold yourself accountable and mostly to be confident in yourself that you can do it, even when you're not very good. There were days where I didn't want to read, and I knew like I wasn't very good at reading, but I just thought that if I kept doing it more and more, that I would be better. And that's the thing. I had to tell myself that I'm not a bad reader. I'm okay. I'm not great, but I'm not bad. If I just keep reading more books or listening to more books on tape, I will get the stories better and I will understand the books more and become a better reader. And I did that by just having confidence in myself. Now, another thing I struggle with being confident growing up is